professor in Arizona ran a calculation that should have changed how everybody invests, and it changed mine, and I don't understand why you don't change your investing strategy because of it, because it changes everything. Almost nobody talks about it. He took every single American stock that existed since 1926, nearly 20,000 company, 26,000 company. Everyone that was listed, merged, was bought, went to zero, and he asked one simple question: how many of them actually beat a Treasury bill? A Treasury bill being the most boring thing in finance. You lend money to the US government for 1 month and you get a tiny bit of interest, essentially cash. The answer: 4 out of every 7 stocks in American history did worse than that over their lifetime. Not worse than the market, worse than cash. And it gets stranger. When he measured actual dollars created, the best 4% of companies produced the entire net gain on the American stock market over 90 years. All of it, the other 96% taken together, did about the same as parking your money in Treasury bills. The professor is Hendrik Bessembinder. The paper is called "Do Stocks Outperform Treasury Bills?" It is free online, and I think it's the single most important document a private investor can read. Because if those numbers are true, and I think they are, this has been replicated and updated several times, then most of the advice you have been given about the stock market is mathematically backwards. I am Victor the Speculator. Subscribe, because I would rather show you the shape of the game than sell you a strategy. Let's go deeper, my friends, because the details are where it becomes useful. Out of roughly 26,000 companies, about 1,100 created all the net wealth. That's the 4%. Now go further inside that 4%. Around 86 companies created about half of everything the entire stock market has ever produced. 86 companies out of 26,000. The top 5 companies alone account for roughly 10% of all the wealth created since 1926. The top 50 account for close to 40%. The top 50 accounts for close to 40% of all the wealth in the stock market added in America. One more number, my friends, and this is the one that should make you uncomfortable. The typical stock stays listed for about 7.5 years. Then it's acquired or merges or it disappears. The median stock in history had a negative lifetime return. The median stock in history had a negative lifetime return. So let me describe the actual shape of the stock market as opposed to the picture in your head. It's not a field of decent companies with a few bad ones. It's a graveyard with a few cathedrals in it. Most listings are mediocre or worse. A small number are extraordinary. And the extraordinary ones are so extraordinary that they carry everything else on their backs. Statisticians call this positive skewness. In plain English, the average is high because a handful of outcomes are enormous, while the typical outcome is poor or negative. Same shape as venture capital. Same shape as book publishing or music or startups. Now let's apply it, because this changes 3 things immediately. One thing, pick 5 great companies and hold them forever is a coin flip dressed as a wisdom. If 4 out of 7 stocks lose to cash, then picking 5 names means you are most likely holding 3 losers and 1 that's fine, mathematically, and 1 that might be good. That's not conviction, that's arithmetic. And people always answer the same way, and I will just pick the good ones, the fine. But look at what you're claiming. You are saying you can identify numbers of a 4% group in advance from a list of thousands in an industry where the professionals who do it full-time mostly fail? I don't think I can do that. I don't think. And when a professor with 90 years of data tells me the winners are that rare, I believe the arithmetic over my own confidence. Thing 2, this is exactly why the index fund works, and not for the reason people say. Everybody says index funds work because of low fees matter, but that's not the main thing. An index fund works because it guarantees you to own the 4%, every single one of them. You cannot miss them because you own everything. And there is a small second mechanism nobody mentions. A market cap weighted index, meaning the biggest company take up most space in it, automatically gives more room to companies that are growing and quietly shrinks companies that are dying. When a company collapses, it doesn't drag the index down proportionally because by then it has already become a tiny slice of it. Think about what that actually is. It adds winners to winners and it lets losers fade to nothing. It never averages down. The most popular passive product in the world is running a momentum system on autopilot, and it's beating the majority of active managers while doing it. Thing 3, and this is where the valuation part comes in. Here's the type that catches intelligent people. They read this research and they accept that a few winners drive everything, and then they go looking for the future winners among cheap, beaten down companies, unloved stocks, because that's where the value is, right? But look again at who the 96% are. They are overwhelmingly cheap-looking companies that stayed cheap-looking while the business shrunk. Low price relative to profits year after year, all the way down to the merger or the delisting. Cheap is not the signal. Growth price sensibly is the signal. 2 examples straight from the study. ExxonMobil is responsible for roughly 3% of all wealth created by American stocks, the single largest contributor for most of that history. Apple is responsible for over 2% of all the wealth created by the stock market, American stock market. And Apple did it while being more than 50 years younger as a public company. The old company earned it with 90 years of scale. The technology company earned it in a fraction of that time because its profits multiplied instead of just existing. That is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for when I check what I'm paying. Not a low number, a price that is reasonable compared to how fast the profits are actually growing and compared to what competitors cost for the same growth. A company growing profits 40% a year at 30 times earnings can be a member of the 4%. A company growing 2% a year at 8 times earnings is almost certainly in the 96%. And it will look like a bargain the entire way. So what do you do with all of this? You have 2 honest options. Option 1, buy the whole stock market, owns the 4% by definition, and never look at it again? That is a genuinely excellent answer, and most people should stop there. Option 2, which is what I do, and I want to be precise about why. If the winners are rare, unpredictable, and enormous, then my job is not to predict them. My job is to hold enough tickets that I'm guaranteed to be holding some when they detonate. And to make sure the tickets that fail cost me almost nothing. That is the entire logic of the way I run money. More than 120 positions across several countries. Every position starts small. Anything that stops working gets sold completely. Anything that keeps working gets more money, again and again, until it becomes one of the large ones. And I'm not trying to outthink the distribution. I'm trying to fit myself to it. And notice what this research also tells you about my losers. When I close a position at minus 12%, and someone in the comments tells me I have no patience, the data says the typical stock held patiently for its whole lifetime loses to crash. Patience is only a virtue in the 4%. Everywhere else, it's just an expensive habit. There is one more thing in the paper that I keep returning to. The professor said he almost didn't publish it. He thought everybody already knew because the calculation was not difficult. It just compounded returns that thousands of people had access to for a decade. Nobody had bothered to look at the shape. I think that is the real lesson here. And it's bigger than stocks. The most valuable information is rarely secret. It is public, sitting still, ignored because it contradicts something comfortable. Which brings me to the practical part. Every trade I take goes to my subscribers as I take it. Entry, size, exit, and the reason? Once a week I write what I think the market is doing and where I think I am wrong. I publish the trades of the week, the trades I will likely make this week. And the whole portfolio is visible. Every line, you can watch my portfolio every day, including whatever is quietly bleeding today. You will see the 96% in there. You have to. That's what the distribution looks like from the inside, and anyone showing you a portfolio without failures is showing you a lie. $79 a month at followvictor.com. First link in the description. The paper is free. This research is free and this video is free, and it's linked down there too. Read the paper first. I'm serious about that order. One last thought, everybody wants to find the next Apple. But the actual skill statistically is not to finding it, it's being willing to hold 200 boring things so that you are present when one of them turns into something absurd, and being ruthless enough to bury the rest without a speech. And hold this apple long enough to have the benefits of it. Tell me in the comments, how many of your current positions have you held more than 2 years? And would you honestly buy them again today at today's price? Second half of that question is one that matters. I am Victor, the speculator. Thank you for listening.